Today, you are going to learn 5 of the most brutal, brilliant moves that chess has to offer. From insane queen sacrifices to deadly checkmates, this video has everything you need for you to start destroying your opponents from move 1. Ready? Here we go. The first sacrificing pattern that every chess player needs to know is the Greek gift. Now, the Greek gift requires 3 things. First of all, a bishop attacking a pawn on h7, a knight ready to come to g5 and be defended, and once the knight has moved to g5, a queen ready to come to h5 just like so. Let me show you how it works. First of all, in this position, we can play the Greek gift beautiful sacrifice bishop takes h7 just like so. Black's best move is to capture back the bishop just like this, and after this we can play the idea all along. Knight g5, check on the king, and also defended by the bishop. Black's best move here is to drop back to the g8 square to not be risky, and after this we can play our lovely follow-up queen h5, threatening a checkmate on the h7 square. Now Black's only way to defend this position is to sacrifice their queen on the g5 square, just like this. If they do that, great, you're up a queen and go on and win the game. However, Black doesn't always do this. Some of you guys may think that a move such as f6 does the job. Well, the beauty of the Greek gift is that queen h7 is always checkmate unless this rook moves, because the knight always covers the f7 square. So let's look at what happens if the rook moves. Well, when the rook moves, it does preserve mate for a longer amount of time, but it doesn't eventually stop the checkmate in 5 just like so. Now time for chess sacrificing concept number 2. The second sacrificing pattern that every chess player should know is called the Smothered Checkmate. Now, the Smothered Checkmate needs 2 things. First of all, a queen giving a diagonal check on the king just like so, and second of all, a knight ready to team up with the queen on one of those squares, in this case f2. Now, white has 2 options in this position. First of all, to block with the rook, and second of all, to simply jump to h1 with their king. Now, both of these actually lead to checkmate. First of all, if they block with the rook on f2, it is very simple. It is simply mate in 3 just like so. Now, they don't have to block with the rook on f2. Instead, in this position, they could actually just hop away with their king to the h1 square. And this is where the beautiful queen sacrifice comes into play. First of all, what you can do is you can play the move knight f2 check. Now, if they wish to sacrifice their rook, great, you're up in exchange and you go on and win the game. However, what they could also do is they could jump to g1, where you can now play this beautiful move, knight h3 double check on the king, just like so. And white's king is forced to jump back to the h1 square, where you can now play the brutal blow, queen g1 check, sacrificing a full queen, and white's only legal move is to capture back with the rook, where you can now play the awesome knight f2 smothered checkmate just like this. The third sacrificing pattern which every chess player should know is called the Boden's Checkmate. Now, the Boden's Checkmate is one of my favourite checkmates because of how satisfying it is to get. I'm going to show you guys 2 examples, and this is the first one. Let's say in this position Black captures our queen for free on the h3 square because we cannot capture back because our pawn is pinned to the king. Would you believe me if I was to tell you that there was a forced checkmate in 2 sequence for white here which ends the game on the spot? Well, in this first example we can actually play the brilliant rook c6, full sacrifice of a rook just like so, and Black's only legal move is to simply capture the rook back on the c6 square, where now you can fill in the rest because we have the beautiful bishop a6 checkmate, and this is the whole idea of Boden's mate. It is where you crisscross the black king just like so to the point where it has no squares and you are simply delivering a fatal blow, and in this case a beautiful checkmate. Let me show you the second example, which is arguably even more brilliant. Now for your guys' learning, I'm going to give you a little puzzle in the form of this chess position. Can you spot the winning move in 10 seconds? If you said the move queen takes c3, brilliant move, you are correct, because white's only legal move is to capture back with the b pawn, and after this we can use the same idea as earlier, bishop a3, beautiful Boden's checkmate on the king, just like so, and the game is finished. Now, for the fourth sacrificing pattern in chess, I just couldn't leave out the legal trap. It's where you sacrifice your queen on just the 5th move to get a brutal checkmate in just 7 moves. This is how it works. It can happen in multiple different ways, but this is one of the main ways in which it occurs. We're going to start off with the move e4, and they're going to play the lovely move e5, the most common position in chess, and we can now play the move knight f3, attacking the pawn on e5. So far, so good, very common stuff in this position. Now, black is going to play the Philidor defense with the move d6, but we are now going to follow up with the move bishop c4, threatening the pawn on f7 perhaps later on, which you're going to see is going to become very important. Now, black is going to play the move knight c6, all good, pretty normal move just like so, and we're going to follow up with a symmetrical move knight c3, just like this. And this is where black is going to make a little bit of a mistake, but this move does actually get played, and it is the move bishop g4, just like this. You may think, well, this is just a normal move, right? Just pinning our knight to our queen, meaning we can't move it in the future. Some of you guys may play a move such as h3 in this position, trying to kick out the bishop or force it to trade. Well, turns out you don't actually have to do that, because we have knight takes e5, a full queen sacrifice just like this, and also, as I said earlier, very important, threatening the f7 square, but now with not one but two pieces, because if black captures our queen on the d1 square, we have mate in two. With bishop takes f7, black's only legal move is to jump to e7, and knight d5 is checkmate with a queen sacrifice in 7 moves. If you guys found that cool, don't forget to smash those like and subscribe buttons. Now time for chess sacrificing pattern number 5. The fifth and final chess sacrificing pattern which we are going to be looking at in today's video is called the deflection tactic, sometimes also known as an attraction tactic. You'll see why in just a moment. Black here has a checkmate in 2 moves. Well done if you've already spotted it. If not, I'm going to show you guys precisely what it is. In this position we can play a full rook sacrifice, brilliant move, rook h1 check. Now, white's king cannot flee to the f-file due to the knight and the rook, and so is simply forced to capture the rook on the h1 square. Now, the reason it is known as a deflection is because it is deflecting the king's defense off of the rook's defense, which is ultimately going to lead in checkmate, just like this. But sometimes it is also known as an attraction, because the rook is attracting the king to the h1 square, where now we can simply deliver checkmate because it is no longer defended, just like this. This puzzle is checkmate in 4 moves for white, involving attraction and deflection. Feel free to pause the video here and comment your solutions down below. I really hope you guys enjoyed these 5 brilliant sacrifice patterns. If you did, don't forget to absolutely demolish those like and subscribe buttons. Feel free to click on the playlist links in the description for more fun and educational chess videos just like this one. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.